Priscilla, you haven't uploaded in like 8 months. Like, where have you been?
Objection!
I refuse to answer that because I said so. I have decided to raise this channel from the dead for one very specific reason. Ace Attorney. I need to share with the world, or to like the 3 people who watch this, how amazing this game is, and I cannot recommend it enough. Ace Attorney launched in Japan on the Game Boy Advance in 2001, and it was brought over to the Nintendo DS in 2005. But I've never actually heard about Ace Attorney until it was brought over from the DS to Nintendo Switch in 2019. I had no idea what this game was about. I've seen Phoenix Wright's Objection once or twice before. You know the one.
Objection!
But basically I was going into this game without any prior knowledge. I've only had a few previous game experiences like Little Big Planet, various Mario games, or Animal Crossing, but I have never experienced a game like this. Ace Attorney is genius, and it's probably one of the best games I've ever played. I have never been so entranced by gameplay and story like this in a long time. Ace Attorney was developed by Capcom. They're well known for creating games like Street Fighter, Mega Man, and Resident Evil.
That was too close. You were almost a Jill sandwich.
You're right.
Shu Takumi is the creator, director, and writer of the original Ace Attorney Trilogy, and this man is an absolute genius. Ace Attorney is a visual novel video game. This game tells a narrative story through episodes but combines it with gameplay. You are Phoenix Wright, a rookie attorney, and your job is to investigate crime scenes, gather evidence, find contradictions, and try to defeat prosecutors in order to get a not guilty verdict. Although there have been many Ace Attorney games released throughout the years, I'll be focusing on the first 3 games included in the trilogy: Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Justice for All, and Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations. Ace Attorney is separated into episodes, and although you're defending a new client between each one, there are 2 things that remain the same throughout the game: investigations and trials. Investigations allow Phoenix to speak with clients about the murder, check out the crime scene, and collect evidence that can help you later during the trial. Investigations allow you to get information that isn't just provided in court. You're not being surprised with new evidence or penalized for doing something wrong. You have the freedom to not stress about pressing the wrong button, so when you're not in the courtroom, it's almost like a breather. Now, all this investigation has an end goal: to prove your client is not guilty. I mean, come on, you're Phoenix Wright, a defense attorney, so get ready for the courtroom. The trials are some of the most intense gameplay I've ever experienced, and it's literally just characters talking. During trials, you're cross-examining witnesses. This means you're listening to witness testimonies and pointing out the contradictions. Contradictions are so important to the game. Most witnesses end up lying, and they're usually the real murderer. It's your job to press them for the truth and present evidence that contradicts certain statements. As stated previously, this is an interactive visual novel, so there is a lot of dialogue. There is mouth movement, but no actual voice acting is included in Ace Attorney, and I like that. It's all in the text box. One thing I learned while playing Ace Attorney is that details are super important. Focusing on dialogue is the key to getting that not guilty verdict. Phoenix's inner thoughts can sometimes give you clues on what to do. The smallest of sentences can be really helpful for finding contradictions. Even changing the color of certain words in the text box help you focus on what to do. It's definitely helped me throughout the game. Now, like I stated before, presenting evidence is what moves the game along and exposes witnesses' lies. Evidence can be as simple as an autopsy report, the murder weapon, or pictures of the crime scene. But Ace Attorney also has a silliness to it, so not all the murders feel sad. You use a teddy bear as evidence in one case, and even a parrot was once used as a witness. Ace Attorney is definitely not meant to be taken too seriously, and I think that's a good thing. It's what makes solving the murder mystery even more fun. That being said, you can't go presenting evidence all willy-nilly. Although cross-examinations are vital to the game, you can receive penalties for presenting the wrong evidence. Get enough penalties and you lose the trial. Every decision is precise in Ace Attorney, and that's something that really stuck out for me. You'll go through multiple testimonies in one trial, so be prepared to pay attention. As the game goes on, the trials get more complicated, and the prosecutors you're going against get way harder. Oh yeah, don't forget you're going against the prosecutor, and there is a bunch. Some you'll hate, and some you'll love, but we'll get to that later. I've spoken about dialogue a lot, but now let's get into the soundtrack. There's a lot of music for different areas of the game. For example, certain characters have their own theme. There's music for every part of the trial as well. Witness testimonies, cross-examination, pressing the witnesses, and even finding the right evidence. They create a unique pattern that you become familiar with, and creates drama and suspense at the same time. Now, Ace Attorney definitely has a specific style along with the text box. The animation of the game is not focused on showing elaborate scenes of murder. Actually, the murders are never explicitly shown. Ace Attorney instead uses still images and slight movement to create its cutscenes. I think the style works well with the game because you're not getting everything handed to you. It makes you think carefully and figure out what's happening in these images. Also, these types of cutscenes aren't too complicated, so our main focus becomes how did this happen? Another thing you'll notice throughout Ace Attorney is although the characters aren't necessarily moving completely, each one has specific positions when it comes to dialogue cues. Conversations with different characters will show their different movements depending on what they're saying and emotion they're portraying. This helps a lot during trials. During cross-examinations, when you get closer to the truth, characters will have a breakdown. The breakdown animations can be silly to intense depending on their personality. Like I said, something that makes Ace Attorney so unique is that it doesn't take itself too seriously. Some cases have to do with the abnormal or the mystical, in a way. I'll explain. One interesting addition to the Ace Attorney Trilogy is the Kurain channeling technique. This will appear throughout all 3 games and will also be a focus on the very final episode. The Kurain channeling technique is the way to channel certain spirits that is practiced by the Fey Family. The Fey Family will become major characters throughout the story. You are introduced to this idea of channeling dead spirits, and although this may seem ridiculous in explanation, it's actually way more interesting and has an impact on the characters much greater than expected. The Kurain channeling technique also gives you a new way of playing the game. In Ace Attorney Justice for All, Phoenix is given the Magatama and you're introduced to Psylocks, which is kind of like a mini trial without giving you a game over. Psylocks appear when a character is hiding something from you. You present the Magatama to the character and the locks will appear. The more Psylocks, the more secrets. Your goal is to ask questions and find evidence to present to them. When you break the Psylocks, you get new information. At first I was hesitant about this addition to the game, but I grew to like it. You can only use it during investigations. It made the investigations harder, and instead of just questioning, you have to actively find evidence to get answers. This is a nice addition to the game because it motivates you to focus on getting the right evidence to unlock the chains. The most important element of Ace Attorney is the storytelling. Ace Attorney is about defending your client and getting a not guilty verdict, but the stories the games tell are amazing. Phoenix goes from a novice defense attorney to a character you grow to love and empathize with. The other characters you meet during the game all have their own personalities and flaws that make them feel more human. Ace Attorney knows how to tell a good story and connect you to these characters. I debated whether I would talk about the story and specific characters in more detail because I feared I would spoil the story, but I decided to talk about it because it's something I feel I need to share. I would talk about every single one of the episodes, but I don't think I would be able to do them all justice. So I just want to talk about specific characters and the impact the game had on me. Mia Fey is the one character who taught Phoenix everything he knows about being a defense attorney. The very first trial may be the beginning of Phoenix's story, but it's a bigger story than just becoming a great defense attorney. After you won your first trial, Mia says this. This, I believe, is the message of the game. A message not only to Phoenix, but also to you, the player. This game has you question what is the right thing, and when you find the answer, believe in yourself. In Turnabout Sisters, you're faced with Mia's death. You'll be introduced to her sister, Maya Fey. Through the Kurain channeling technique, Maya will often channel Mia, who gives Phoenix advice and supports him in times of struggle and moral dilemmas. Although she has died, she is always with him. With the death of her sister, Maya trusts Phoenix and becomes close with him and vice versa. You'll learn that Maya is a spirit medium in training. She is a future master of the Kurain channeling technique. Maya will be by your side during investigations, trials, and the story in general throughout the trilogy. You'll realize that during investigations, Maya always has something to say when you interact with certain objects. And to be honest, at first I found it annoying, but as the game goes on and you see Maya's struggles, you realize she is just a genuine, kind-hearted character you grow to love with each case. Seeing her smile in the midst of her losses makes it worth it. The theme of found family comes into play here as you continue the game. Phoenix and Maya continue to learn from each other and they become their own little family. You'll also be introduced to Prosecutor Miles Edgeworth. At first he seems like a mean, one-sided prosecutor that always gets his way, but he's actually a much more complicated character you grow to love. During trials, he often talks to Phoenix as if they know each other. Edgeworth and Phoenix have a past that we don't find out about until later. However, during Turnabout Samurai, the conversation between these two after the trial is subtle and brings up a lot of questions to be answered later in the game. Turnabout Goodbyes is my favorite episode in the entire trilogy, and maybe I'm biased because Edgeworth is my favorite character, but it's a whole episode about him and his character development. During this episode, they refer to the DL6 incident, which goes deep into Edgeworth's childhood trauma and also gives backstory to the Fey family and how they lost Mia and Maya's mother. Everything in this trilogy is connected and makes the story super interesting and complicated in a good way. Phoenix explains that Edgeworth is the reason he became a defense attorney. When Edgeworth defended him as a child and suddenly left after his father's death, Phoenix's goal was to find him again. I want to talk about Farewell My Turnabout. This episode is the reason this game took me a year to finish. It seems simple. Matt Engard is accused of murdering Juan Carita. You decide to defend him. He seems innocent enough, but it turns out Engard actually hired an assassin to kill Carita. The assassin kidnaps Maya, so you have no choice but to defend Engard. If Phoenix doesn't get a full acquittal, the assassin will kill her. I love Maya just as much as Phoenix, so this blackmail made it so much harder. Phoenix even breaks down at one point. The context of the murder is what really hurt the most. A few years prior, Celeste Impax ended her life because of Engard, and Carita stole the note she left as leverage. I had to stop playing the game at some points because the thought of defending a murderer hurt me. I think about Celeste and Maya. I think about Mia and what she told you when the game started. Being a defense attorney means doing the right thing. Ace Attorney makes you question what is the right thing. You don't want to let go of what you believe in, but you don't want Maya to die. You do everything you can to prolong the trial. There's two different endings you can get depending on how you play. The bad ending is you get a full acquittal, Matt Engard gets a not guilty verdict, and is freed from all charges. Maya is let go, but Phoenix quits being a defense attorney altogether. However, the good ending is revealing the truth, showing Matt Engard's true colors, freeing Maya before the trial ends, and getting Engard that guilty verdict. That feels good. It's a happy ending for all. The last trial of the game is all about the Kurain channeling technique, and it is a perfect end to the trilogy. There's many characters you'll see again, and you'll get conclusions that are satisfying and answers questions that have been around since the beginning of the trilogy. The final thing I'll say is Ace Attorney takes you on a journey as Phoenix Wright. From the very moment you meet him, you know his heart is in the right place. He stays on the good path. He takes care of Maya when Mia is gone. He seeks guidance from Mia when he needs her most, but still manages to be himself. Edgeworth may have inspired Phoenix to become a defense attorney, but I think this is something Phoenix Wright was meant for. I never knew a game could have such a strong impact on me until now, so I just want to thank you, Ace Attorney, for making me really happy, and thank you for watching this. I know this is different than any video that I've made before, but hopefully you enjoyed it, so thanks again. Bye.
Hold it!